Hello and welcome to Talking Reds. It's Monday morning. I am Dan Austin. This is Neil Atkinson. And Neil, Liverpool are top of the Premier League with only 5 to go, and then there's Champions League quarter-final. Just a great time, isn't it?
Southampton was pandemonium. I loved your video afterwards. It's going to come in a minute. I loved it because you're absolutely captured. When that second went in, it was bedlam.
It's one of the best ever. It's absolutely one of the best ever.
One of my favourite things about it is I love to imagine him. And I love how much he wants to watch us. And if I ever got to interview him, and I probably won't, my first questions really would be, honestly, what's it like? What do you see? Because he's got the best view in the ground of bedlam. No one else has got a better view of this. Like, I don't even see him. There's a thing here where you would think he's not, the first time he does it, he's not doing it for us to acclaim him. He's doing it to watch us because no one's looking at him. I've got Paul Senior on top of me. I had Luke, this lad Luke next to me. And, Luke, I'm all over Luke. I'm being dragged everywhere. I've got no idea what those lads are doing on that pitch. And he must know that. But he's just watching it like, he's almost watching it like, it's a social experiment.
Yeah.
If I score that goal, that's what these will do. That's mad. It really is. And then what I love is after he prays, he then comes back up, and after those sorts of goals, he then gives it the big one again. And I love that as well. And that is when you do acclaim him, and that is when he gets like he must have celebrated that 5 times. And that's his big moment. He celebrated it on his own, watching us. Then he celebrated it with his teammates. Then he celebrated again, turning back around to us. Then he prayed and celebrated it with the big man upstairs. And then he got back up from that and celebrated it again with us. And that was the point. And I love that the cockiness of the last one. Like, come on, now you acclaim me.
Yeah.
You've just done the mad thing. You've all gone bananas. I've just seen your limbs. Now acclaim me. Aren't I great? And everyone went, you are fucking brilliant.
That was the only bit that I saw. I was stood with Fuad and lots of other people who all sort of ended up either sat on top of me or under me at various points in the celebration. And then when I came back up, I just saw him stood there with his glorious nipples out. And I was like, you fucking do for me, you know. He just looked like he owned the entire planet at that moment in time. Like he was the peak of humanity. Like he was like, see DNA and that, it's got you to this point. This is where we're at as a race of a species. And it was just brilliant. And then the third went in as well, and that's a very similar celebration, but in a sort of a different way, because you've already had the sort of the tension and the aggression let off with that second one, and the third one's just the joy. The third one's the one where it's like, oh, it's all right, we've done this. We haven't got to worry about if we can see the corner now. It's the captain, and isn't that brilliant? And they're both, some of the biggest celebrations that I've been in, but with that sort of little nuance between them, that I can really appreciate them both individually.
You're
as
like
well.
The finest of fine wines. Yeah, that's what they were. They were the finest.
An excellent white followed by an excellent red.
Yeah, they're different but the same way. Absolutely marvellous. I was so pleased for the captain. I was so pleased for him. He was brilliant when he came on. I mean, I have this thing. Firstly, it didn't look like he was coming on, and he looked like he thought he was off to warm up. And I sort of got the impression Pep Linders had to say to Klopp, if you don't put him on right now, he's going to knock you out. Like this is going to work. And then when you see the footage afterwards of the manager giving him like the huge hug and the real sort of, I think he firstly, if he's had that conversation with him about playing a bit more advanced, then it doesn't half help with that, the fact that he scores the goal. But just in general, I thought that Milner and Henderson just made such a massive difference.
I think it's very, very rare. It's been a long time, certainly, since I've seen one in particular in Henderson, but both of them as well. A couple of substitutes come off the bench and change a game to that extent. Because before that, Southampton had that 10 minutes after half-time, I think, where they were the better team. Liverpool got back into it a little bit more, but they weren't really creating anything of any concern to Southampton. And then suddenly they came on, and Southampton just accepted they were on the back foot for the rest of the match. Because of the drive that they came on with, because of the sheer determination that not only are we winning this fucking match, but we're winning this league as well, and you dickheads aren't getting in our way. And just the attitude from them totally made it different. They were obviously technically very good when they came on, but just the demeanour that they came on the pitch with might end up winning Liverpool a title.
Well, I loved what the manager said post-match, which is, I said, where he says there's just one little thing in one of the newspapers, so he must have only said it in the press breakout, but he says they came on with aggression, verbal aggression, which is AKA shouting fuck a lot of lads. That's what it is. I mean, let's be really clear as to what that actually means. I didn't see it because I wasn't at the game, but John on our free show, he said there was a lot of the camera cutting to Virgil. I'm sorry, this is a very sweary show so far, but I'm going to go again. Virgil turning around and going to everyone else, the fuck's going on in the first half? In that sort of way, which you do when you play football. What the fuck is going on? And that was the second half, and then when the manager said they came on with aggression, I mean verbal aggression is quite something, to be quite honest with you. It tells you the story, and football isn't always, and it helps that they are both really good players, but it isn't always just simply who has the best players at times. It is your attitude, it is your demeanour. It is how you communicate. It is a communication-based sport. It's a team sport. Communication matters. It is important. And I think at times people will look to, there's obviously one of the reasons why people don't like this sort of thing is we can't quite measure it. We can't quite quantify it. We can't quite have a proper awareness of it because there can be players who communicate a lot who don't necessarily communicate well or the right things or talk the teammates down. So, that's worth bearing in mind. But there is such a thing as, sometimes an attitude thing, the influence you have on the people around you is a thing. And it is a thing at key moments in football matches, and you saw that.
What was brilliant as well, the thing that I think has stuck with me most since the game was full time, basically, because obviously there are 3 or 4 of them on the pitch doing interviews afterwards, and it's all the big hitters.
Yeah.
It's Henderson, it's Van Dijk, it's Salah on the pitch. And everyone just stayed in the end for ages. I think the majority of people in the away end were still there half an hour after full time, just looking at each other going, lads, that's just happened, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Just the sheer delirium of it, because it's getting to that extent now where it was the same at Tottenham, and I imagine similar at Craven Cottage as well, where you obviously are aware of how good this football team is, but the way that they're winning matches still makes you lose your mind. If they were just, if they were 2-0 up after 15 minutes like Man City do against Southampton, I'm sure we would have all just had a nice sing-song second half, got off as soon as full time happens and just been quite happy. But because of the way that they won it, you get these moments on a regular basis at this point where you just stood looking at your mates going, I can't believe it.
Well, it's interesting because us and City have both gone to Southampton and we both won 3-1, but City were 2-1 up at half time, and I think they go on in the second half and they get a third. I think that's the order of the goals that they come, and it is different. And listen, in the record books in 30 years time, quite possibly people might just sort of look at that. People who weren't at the game and didn't know anything about it would just sort of go, Liverpool went to 15th Southampton and they won by 2. Yeah, it's what happens in run-ins. No, mate, it's not. It really was, because they were, and I think part of it is they were that bad for 20 minutes, and then they weren't great for the 10 minutes after that. But they were that bad for 20 minutes. It really was. It was abject. And again, I think that might be, again, something that's almost difficult to measure. I'm doing more and more stats stuff at the minute, and what's not there, for instance, because Shane Long doesn't get a shot off when the ball flashes across goal when he should just score. Yeah. Should just kick it in the goal. That doesn't count because he doesn't have the shot. That doesn't count towards an expected goals and all that conversation. But also just that there is a thing, and I'm talking more and more about expected goals, and I think it's a great stat, and I think it's really useful. But being in the ground from the point at which Southampton went 1-0 up, arguably to about 30 seconds before Liverpool go 1-1, the goal I expect is a Southampton goal.
100%.
There's only one goal that's coming, and it's a Southampton goal. And there's maybe Mane has a header, and you think, all right, we're getting somewhere. Salah's pulled down in the move that leads up to the goal, and you think, well, that's a penalty, and we're in their box at least, and then we score. But genuinely, I'm next to Paul Senior, and in the 30 seconds before they score, I say to Paul, I'd make 3 subs at half time. And Paul says to me, who would you take off? And I say, Paul, anyone. like he's going to run a lottery.
Yeah.
He's going to have 7 subs in
one.
It's
like, I'm taking Van Dijk off for Alberto Moreno. We'll go for that.
We'll go for that. Could improve things. As though I would have, if you'd have offered me that at that moment, I'd have said, it could be a way out of this shit, to be honest with you, and then we've got a problem to solve. Because I was that livid with them. They were second to absolutely everything. Southampton were getting so much joy in that little sort of square between Alexander-Arnold, Matip, Fabinho coming over, and Wijnaldum dropping in. You can even, if you want to say it's a pentagon, you can even say with Salah on that side as well, because he wasn't offering them any help. Not that I think he's meant to, by the way, but he wasn't. He wasn't offering them any help, and they were just getting so much joy. And I was watching Højbjerg be the best midfielder on the pitch, and I was just thinking, this feels like an absolute living nightmare. And the crowd was just, it really was like people were having a bad dream. Everyone was looking at it like, are we all in the same bad dream?
Whose consciousness is in control of this? And can you please sort it out, whoever you are?
Yeah, because it was, as I say, it wasn't the idea that they went 1-0 down. Listen, if Southampton had just strutted up, put one top corner, but apart from that, it'd have been all Liverpool pressure, people wouldn't have felt like that. But it was the idea of, God, we're crap, which was the thing. And then by the end of the game, you're like, well, you could say we're crap, or you could say we're the best thing that's ever happened to football.
Yeah, because all that happened, and then Henderson and Milner came on and were better than Messi and Ronaldo coming on for us. If you can't tell already how excited we remain off the back of Southampton, we're going to show you that clip that I did from inside St Mary's on Friday night, where I look like an absolute maniac. So here that is.
They've done it again! Get in! Liverpool have beaten Southampton 3-1 at St Mary's. Absolutely fucking bedlam in the away end. They've come from 1-0 down. They were absolutely crap. Absolutely fucking crap for about 60 minutes. And then Jordan Henderson and James Milner came on and decided they were the best players in the country and they were going to change it. And Liverpool are going absolutely nowhere. Again, Man City thought it at Fulham, they thought it at the Tottenham game at the weekend, they thought it tonight, they thought this was the one where Liverpool stopped, this is the one where Liverpool lost it, this is the one where they dropped the points and the title challenge was over. And after 60 minutes tonight, Liverpool went, fuck off, we're going nowhere. Mohamed Salah's goal is incredible, it's one of my favourite goals ever already. The whole away end is screaming at him to pass it. For about 10 minutes, it takes forever for him to run and get into the area. Everyone's shouting, pass it to anyone. And he goes, it's all right, I'm going to box it myself, I'm going to pop it in the corner. Like it's the easiest thing in the world. And honest to God, the celebrations in this away end when the second and third went in, it was incredible. I've lived very few moments like that in my entire life. What a group of human beings this Liverpool squad is, mate. Absolutely incredible. I'm so excited. Liverpool are going nowhere. If you think Liverpool aren't winning this title, then I don't know what the fuck is making you think that. Because Liverpool aren't a lucky team. Liverpool aren't a team that's second best to Manchester City. Liverpool are a team that's forcing all of our dreams into reality right now. Subscribe to the Anfield Wrap if you don't already. Have an absolutely berserk Friday night after that. All the best and up the rest.
Get in!
There you go. Hope you enjoyed that bit of insanity. I certainly did. Can't really remember any of it, as I sunk a lot of white wine and gin by the time we got down there on the train. Yes. But it seems like I was having a fantastic time.
Friday night Dan was a lovely man and he was having a lot of fun.
We've got to talk about Porto, Neil, because we're playing them tomorrow night in the Champions League quarter-final, and it somehow feels like a rest.
It does feel like a rest, and it will be hard. And I think that the thing everyone's got to get into their heads is it will be hard. They're a good side, they're tidy, they don't give much away. And I think in our minds is, well, they gave 5 away to us in their ground last year. But there's something about that where, if I say everything we hit went in, it disparages Liverpool's quality on the night. Liverpool played some fantastic football and opened them up and did really well. And what they did was they made every opportunity count. So I watched back today the keepy-ups from Salah. And it's brilliant. It's just awesome. But it's worth remembering that comes off a James Milner effort from 20 yards that hits the post and comes back to him. It could have bounced anywhere. Forget even that it hits the post. It could have gone wide. It could have gone in, but it could have gone wide. It could have, it could have cut the outside of the post and gone out for a goal kick. It doesn't. It comes back to Salah, and he's then stood the goalkeeper up brilliantly. And he does amazing football. But that's an example of it was the sort of night where everything you hit just goes for you. Everything you try to do well comes off. There's some games where Liverpool try to do things well, do things properly, and it just doesn't quite come off because that's the way the game works. Sometimes you don't get to play in the box anywhere near as much as Liverpool got to that night and have it come off for you all the time. So I think it will be tricky. I think they're a tidy side. I think we should have too much for them. I've been doing some prep work for our preview show. We've got the tactics thing in front and looking at them, and they're handy from set pieces, and that's worth remembering. And we take a few chances from set pieces with the high line. So I think that they've got a goal in them across the 2 legs. But you don't really feel like they've got more than 2 goals in them across the 2 legs, and they may have no goals in them at Anfield, and that makes you think, well, if we can just find a way to keep a clean sheet, which you'd expect possibly, and score 2 or 3 at Anfield, then it certainly makes going to Porto not feel as arduous as it might do.
I think it's one of those where he tries to win the tie in the first leg.
And maybe in the first hour of the first leg.
He says basically, we haven't got to score 5 past these, but we can score 3 in an hour, in 70, whatever. And, I'm not going and playing the kids in the second leg, but we can take a bit more of a relaxed approach about it. Maybe I think I can drop Origi in instead of Firmino or something, and Firmino can be rested in advance of Cardiff, because that's a massive game. It might be the biggest game of our lives by the time we get to that point.
Absolutely.
So I think that will be the attitude of it. I think they'll play on the crowd. I think if possible, they'll try to attack the Kop first, because I think it makes loads of sense. On a first leg European night, I think it makes loads of sense to attack the Kop. So hopefully, they'll have boxed it off by sort of 45, 50 minutes.
Who do you think he's going to play centre mid?
I think he's going to play Milner and Henderson. I think he can't not play them after the other day. And I think when
Is he not going to play Milner left back?
Well, I would do Moreno.
Would you?
I would absolutely do Moreno, because they're a quick team first and foremost. So Milner could just, play the position really well, but get legged by someone who's simply faster and younger than him.
Yeah.
I'd like him in midfield for his intensity. I think he'll give us something that the others won't. And we're going to have loads of the footy, and I don't think we're going to do that much defending. And Moreno isn't as bad as people think he is.
Okay.
He's not good, and he won't be in next season. I totally agree with that. I don't want him playing games by and large for Liverpool, but I'm all right with this one.
Okay.
A front foot game, Liverpool at home, doing all the attacking. Needs a bit of speed. I'm fine with Alberto Moreno playing. And if he has a terrible 45, then take him off and put Milner there or whatever. So I would do Moreno left back, Milner, Henderson. I'd take Wijnaldum out because he looks goosed, quite frankly, and I'd play Fabinho at the base and tell Henderson and Milner to just never stop running.
I think they're quite happy with that instruction.
Yeah.
Excellent stuff. All right then.
Right, just before we go, we have got one thing to mention. Before the last game of the season, at home to Wolverhampton Wanderers, the Anfield Wrap are doing a big
Saturday night.
A big do, aren't they? The Saturday night. It's going to be like just an end of season party. Hopefully, it's a sort of pre or even post title winning celebration. That might be a little bit optimistic, but you never know. Basically, it's going to be, if you were there or if you've seen clips of it, it's going to be very similar to what the Anfield Wrap did on stage in Kiev, where Neil basically talked about footy very poetically over Show Me Love, which John was DJing. But there's going to be all clips, you know, of this season, of the previous season as well. It's just going to be a big celebration of what it is to be a Liverpool supporter, isn't it? We're going to have a great time, and the tickets are already on sale. There's a link in the description. Neil, it's going to be great.
On the social as well, yeah. We're hoping for a multimedia spectacular. I'm not going to lie to you. John,
it's going to be a full light show.
Talking about Waves and Odyssey, talking about Major Laser. That's what we're looking at here. John's scoping out confetti cannons. I don't know quite how it's going to all come together. I've got what's in my head, and we will work. Sam's behind the camera here, and we will work to bring about what that is for it to be. Hopefully, the story of a brilliant Liverpool season, and not just a brilliant Liverpool season, but a brilliant Liverpool journey over a couple of years. And we're going to try and bring all that to bear. And the T Street Band are playing as well, and John and Steve are DJing. It's very much a party. It's very much a celebration. It's very much about having a great night. And hopefully, the football's all happening in a positive sense and not all happening in a negative sense, because God, we could all do without that. But I think that you know, if Liverpool are as alive as we hope they will be, then I think that night will be a joy to be alive.
And even if it all does go wrong, we can just go there and get really drunk and pretend like nothing's happening.
That's my plan.
So it's the perfect way to deal with it.
That's about my summer.
I'm really pushing for the candy floss machine and one of them toy grabbers as well.
Oh yeah, claw.
So yeah, but preferably with like little toys of Liverpool players in, so I could win myself, or try and like spend like £50 trying to win a plush Joel Matip out of the grabber machine, and I keep like grabbing his ear and it's dropping and I'm like, fuck off, Joel.
Excellent.
So that might be there, but in the meantime, thank you for watching. Thank you from Neil. Thank you from me. Make sure to subscribe to the Anfield Wrap if you don't already. The Tour Player service is going to be great between now and the end of the season. Loads of podcasts, loads of video as well. It's the best time to do it if you don't already. You're going to be on top of everything. Also subscribe to the YouTube channel and press the notification bell. But for now, thanks for watching and all the best.
It's us talking about our app again. We're very excited about it indeed. Very, very excited. Craig, it's the absolute business. It's going to be the place to get all your Anfield Wrap wants and needs from.
I'm so excited about it. I remember my very first meeting when I started at the Anfield Wrap 2 years ago this month actually, and Neil promised me there was going to be an app, and I've had to wait 2 years for it. It's taken 2 years. Oh yeah, we've got an app coming soon. Yeah, 2 years later now we're launching it, and I think it's been something that when we speak to people at live shows, when we speak to people at the match, you know, listeners, subscribers and watchers of our YouTube channel, they always say to us, what about an app? Have you thought about an app? And we're like, we have. It's just so difficult to sort of implement, and there aren't that many, you know, how many fan media businesses, I suppose, have their own app, and now we're going to have one. It's so exciting.
It is really exciting. It'll be the absolute business. We've been working on this video stuff which you've been watching it on YouTube, around the game, second look, preview, post-match pints, now stat show, other bits and pieces as well. We've been working on it for, well, since August, to be honest with you, and it's taken up a lot of time, and I'll be really honest, it's taken up a fair bit of money as well. Equipment's involved, obviously paying for people's time, getting them in. The post-production work's pretty arduous as well, but we've been doing that because we started it in August thinking we'd have something by mid-October-ish. We didn't, and we've hung on right the way through till April because we wanted to keep telling the story of the season for our video viewers. Now is the time where this will be going behind our paywall as part of the app, and that will be happening mid-April, being honest, probably now towards the end of April, but we'll be getting that stuff ready. That stuff will be uploaded every single game, everything we've been doing plus so much more. Loads of formats set up for the summer, obviously we including transfers, but we know the bread and butter is the match by match content, and that's the stuff that we've been throwing out now for years and that we love. We think we get right both on audio and on video, so we want you to come and subscribe and feel part of this journey. Continue to do so. Download the app, have a little look at it and work out what payment level is for you. It's 5, 7, 7 and 10, Craig. 5 for existing audio subscribers who just want to have a few fewer shows. We're keeping that as an option for them, but then it is £7 audio, 7 video and 10 for both.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think one of the reasons why we've gone for the different pricing tiers is so that there's an option for everyone. So if you decide that maybe the free video is only for you and you don't want to pay for content, you've got Talking Reds for free every day. You've got 2 free podcasts a week, and then you've obviously got the 7, the 7 and the 10. The 10 for all of our content, both video and audio. I think like one of the things that when you speak to people is they don't realise just how much work and time and resource goes into the creation of video. They maybe just think it's setting up a camera and us speaking to it, but really really it's the equipment, it's the booking people for shows, it's the time that it takes to
get to locations, using locations,
upload it to the post-production, the editing, and everything around that, and that's one of the main reasons why we're doing this.
But we also want to be more ambitious with the video, so we've been talking about some documentary style stuff that we want to do more of, more stuff out on location, more stuff out and about, more stuff telling the story of the city of Liverpool as well as telling the story of Liverpool Football Club via video. It's something we think we do brilliantly through audio. We want to be able to use Liverpool as a bit of a canvas and cut loose, to be honest with you. So we want you to come with us on that if you can. It'd be absolutely brilliant, and as I say, it's something we're going to grow and develop. And so far what's been just fantastic, to be honest with you, is so many people who watch and listen to the Anfield Wrap, whether they subscribe or not, have been part of the journey. We want you to keep coming on this journey with us. Download the app, go from there. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for watching. This is the Anfield Wrap from the heart of the city.